guys, it's Julia. Welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a slightly late new makeup releases, favorites, and fails. I wasn't sure if I was going to do a December version of this, but then I was just looking at all the stuff I tried in December, and if I was going to do a January version, it was going to be like 45 minutes long. So I figured better late than never. I'll just review for you guys all the products I've tried out in the past month or so. And then just like knowing me, the January version is probably going to be in like early to mid-February anyways, so it'll all even out eventually. But yeah, I've been trying out a lot of new products lately, and I have so many amazing things to share with you guys, as well as some things that just didn't really work out for me. So I wanted to share with you guys all the things I tried out in December. Before I get into it, I just want to apologize for if like the light goes in and out within this video. I do use natural lighting, so I'm kind of beholden to Mother Nature.
I don't need friends, they disappoint me.
And sometimes it's good, but today there's a lot of clouds outside, so if the light changes throughout the video, I'll try and minimize it as much as I can in editing, but there's not much I can do there. I think I covered everything. I'm not wearing earrings today because I just got my ears pierced for realsies, so I have little studs in there and they'll be in there for about a month. Also, I got my hair cut. New things. If you're new to this series, new makeup releases, favorites, and fails is basically where I just take all the products that I've been trying out lately and review them all in one video. It's just a really good way for me to review a bunch of new releases for you guys, so I can get my thoughts out on these new products and just share with you guys what I think about these new releases. So I hope you guys enjoy this one. This one is going to be a very colorful, very eyeshadow and complexion product heavy one, but I hope you guys enjoy it, and let's get into it. I've had quite a few requests to review these over the past couple months, and I've kept saying, yeah, I'll probably pick up one of them at some point, but I never got onto it just because there were so many palettes being released. And then I got 3 for Christmas. Figured I would try these out and then share my review with you guys. But Huda Beauty's new Obsessions palettes, these are the Gemstone collection. So she has the Amethyst Obsessions palette, which is obviously a beautiful purple palette. This is what I was really excited about. Sapphire Obsessions, which I was also really excited about. This one is more of a blue color scheme, but I was really excited because there's a navy blue in here, and you guys know I've been on the hunt for a really good navy blue shadow. And then I also got the Emerald Obsessions palette. This one I wasn't sure I was gonna love, but I think it's a really beautiful green palette, and I don't really see a lot of color schemes like this. When these first dropped, I was actually really excited about them. I thought the concept was really cool. I think Huda does a really good job with just coming up with color schemes in general. I think she always does a really nice job of creating a really cohesive color story within her palettes. So these, even though they are a different formula from the bigger palettes, these are made in China, whereas the bigger ones are made in Italy. I was still really excited about trying them out. So first of all, I did talk about the Emerald Obsessions in my green eyeshadows video, but they're good. The formulas are nice. I really love the shimmers. I think her shimmer formula is one of the best on the market. Mattes are okay. I do prefer the mattes in her regular formula, like the big palettes. I feel like those are a little bit better quality, whereas these ones, since they are colorful shadows, obviously they're going to be a little bit harder to formulate and perform with. So with like the purple mattes and then the blue mattes, especially because she went with colors that have a little bit more like intensity and you'd want to be a bit more pigmented, I feel like you do have to kind of build them up to get to the color intensity that they are in the pan. That being said though, it's not super hard to create a look out of these. I do think that it's easier to create a colorful look with like more pigmented colorful shadows, so like the Morphe James Charles palette, or something I'm going to mention later on in this video that I used for today's look.
Literally.
This isn't necessarily how I would personally formulate a colorful shadow, just because I would want something with a bit more like softness and pigmentation to it. These are buildable, and I think they're a really good price as well. $27 for a small palette. It's very compact, but you have 9 shades in here. And these are really nice sized eyeshadow pans. I think it's a really streamlined and cute way of getting some beautiful put together color stories, and they're really approachable as colorful palettes as a whole. I really like these a lot. I do give these my stamp of approval. I think my favorite of the 3, I really like all 3 of them. Obviously, if you're a purple person like I am, I think the Amethyst one is probably going to be your favorite, but I really like the ones I tried out. Obviously, I don't have the Ruby Obsessions because I'm allergic to Huda Beauty's red shadows, and then I don't have the Topaz one because, I don't know, it was a little bit neutral for me, and I have so many other neutral palettes in my collection, so I figured I'd try out the 3 that really enticed me the most, but I really like these a lot, and I'm glad I tried them out. While I'm at it, I'll follow up on the other Huda Beauty thing I tried out this month. So I've heard a lot of things about her Overachiever Concealer, and I really like her foundation. The Faux Filter foundation is super full coverage, but it's one of my favorites, especially if I'm having more like problematic skin, like right now. That's another thing. I was planning on filming a get ready with me today because I know I've had a lot of requests to do some more like sit down, do my makeup on camera type things, because I haven't done that in, I think, since the Victoria's Secret Get Ready With Me, which was filmed last month. And I find it really hard to be comfortable on camera if I know my skin's not looking so great, especially especially because you start off in the get ready with me with no makeup on. But that was a tangent.
Yeah.
I tried out Huda Beauty's new Overachiever concealer. I have the shade Cotton Candy, but this is like a super high coverage concealer. It comes in a kind of squeezy tube with a metal applicator, which I found to be pretty cooling, but possibly not the most hygienic. It does have quite a scent to it, not as strong as the Huda Beauty foundation, especially because you're kind of putting that one all over your face, so that one has a lot more of a potent smell, but this one does have a slight perfumey scent to it. I'm not somebody who absolutely hates fragrances and stuff. But I really do like this concealer a lot. I think it's a beautiful finish on the under eyes. Very smoothing, and I didn't notice any creasing throughout the day. I do still like my Too Faced one a lot better, but this is definitely in my like top 5 favorite concealers right now. And yeah, I just really like this one. I think it's a beautiful full coverage concealer. And I felt like even though it was very like full coverage and very thick, it still blended very easily. So if you have a hard time blending out concealers, I think you might really like this one a lot, because even though it is that nice thick creamy consistency, it just diffuses very nicely on the under eyes. I'm a little bit late to the game on this one as well, but I was really hesitant to try this one just because I'm not a huge glittery highlighter person, but I've heard so many people saying that they really like this one even though it is glittery, so I figured I'd try it out. But this is the Fenty Beauty Diamond Bomb highlighter in the shade How Many Carats. You've probably seen this one going around on YouTube, but it's basically this like white pressed like putty glittery highlighter. It's really beautiful to look at, but it definitely, you can tell that it's a very glittery highlight when you just look at the pan. I think I heard somebody, possibly Mariah Leonard, I'm not quite sure, saying that this is like a wet looking highlighter. I love wet looking highlighters, so I figured I'd try this one out. I don't know, the first couple times I tried this out, I was like, oh, that is so pretty on the face, and when I'm looking at it in the mirror, it looks beautiful, like blinding, glossy, wet looking on the face. But then when I go outside, or if I like see myself in natural lighting, so for example, I wore this one out shopping and I was like, oh, I look so good, and then I looked up at myself really close up in the mirror at Neiman Marcus, and you could just see like little flecks of glitter on my cheekbone, and it just didn't look nice in natural lighting. I really like this one as a topper, so if I wear this one with a more like opaque highlighter and I just layer this one on top, it looks beautiful. On its own, it's not my favorite, especially just like as a highlighter on my cheekbone. As you can see, it's a very sheer base, so there's not really a lot of base pigment to this one. It's a very unique effect that I haven't seen in other highlighters, but there's no way of getting around it. It is very glittery, and if you really hate that, or if you have a lot of texture, I don't know if you're gonna like this one.
I feel like a deer in the headlights of love.
This is a product that I tried out in December that I actually like made the split-second decision to put in my 2018 favorites, so you've already seen this one, but I wanted to just recap my thoughts on this one because I literally just tried it out, but I loved it so much the first couple times that I had to share it with you guys. So this is the Farsali Skin Tune Blur Primer. This is a serum, so it does actually have a lot of nice skincare ingredients in there. It smells so good, like very light scented eucalyptus. I really like how it smells, but this is the closest you can get to Facetune in a bottle. It's really blurring on the skin, just kind of blurs out your pores. It's like the smoothing effect on Facetune, but in makeup form, and it just makes foundation glide on top of it. It is definitely very expensive, so this single bottle is $54, which is very pricey. It is a splurgy product, but I think the effect that it gives is beautiful, so I had to recommend this one because it's been one of my favorite primers, and I think the only primer I've been using for the past month. I don't ever really get excited about new skincare releases, but when it's a really innovative product or just something I think is a really cool concept, I get super hyped. So Fenty Beauty released some really cool, innovative new skincare products, and I knew I really wanted to review these. So probably my favorite product that they just released was the Ultra Repair Berry Air Cream. I showed this on my Instagram stories when I received the package, but it is such a unique texture. It's like really light, airy, and fluffy. Yo.
Ah.
What? This is so cool. It feels like a whipped moisturizer, but when you put it on the face, it has a really cooling effect, and it melts into the skin like a water cream does. This says that it repairs your skin barrier, which I think is really important, and I don't see a lot of products claiming to do that. But I've noticed some really nice results with using this one. And over the past 3 weeks or so, I haven't been filming because I've been on vacation, but I've been really stressed out because of stuff going on in my personal life. And my forehead has gone from like covered in pimples to just like this one beautiful pimple in the middle. So they also came out with a retinol eye cream with hyaluronic acid in it, and I was like, oh, that's gonna be so nice because I have some really dank dark circles. Unfortunately, this was one of the products that didn't work out for me. I didn't really notice anything happening to my under eyes. It didn't make them worse or anything, but it didn't make them better. The only thing I noticed was my under eyes feeling a lot more moisturized, so that's definitely a result of the hyaluronic acid, but I didn't see any reduction in my dark circles, any reduction in the bags, or even with like the small fine lines I have under there, I didn't really see anything happening. So finally, something I was really excited about was their new facial oil. I'm such a hoe for facial oil. My skin's been a lot drier recently. I've been doing this thing where I just kind of coat my entire face in like a light facial oil at the end of the day, and sleep in it, and my face wakes up and it's so moisturized and so nice.
Are you sure about that?
But this is the Ultra Repair Cannabis and Oats Dry Oil. So I've noticed like cannabis and hemp products being more prominent in skincare stuff lately, especially with like herbivore and more natural brands. This I really enjoy. It's a dry oil, so I feel like it's very like light on the skin and it won't clog your pores. It did a really good job of just holding in the moisture, especially from the barrier cream. It does smell like weed. No way of getting around it. It smells like weed. It's the motherfucking Eagle Double G. Snoop Dogg. But I'm not mad about it, especially because I did some really nice stuff to my skin. So this is the good kush.
This is the dollar store. How good can it be?
Next up, I have the Colourpop Bretman Rock collaboration. I actually tried out the entire collection, so I wanted to share my thoughts on pretty much everything, but most prominently the palettes, because that's what everyone's excited about. I love that Colourpop is going for some smaller palettes. I'm not somebody who's opposed to larger palettes. I really like the James Charles Morphe one, but smaller palettes, especially like the Huda ones, I think are a really nice way of getting some good, concise color schemes, and just I feel like they kind of pressure the brands to pick out the colors that really, really matter to the story rather than just like throwing in some filler stuff. They came out with two palettes, the Wet and the Lit palette.
It's lit.
Wet was the one I was really excited about. This is a beautiful like blue, kind of cooler tone palette. And honestly, there's not that much to say about this one other than the fact that it's very consistent with Colourpop's normal formula, which is bangin'. The mattes are beautiful. They're a little bit powdery, but they're very pigmented as always, and I was really impressed with this matte blue. I haven't tried a matte blue from Colourpop before. Obviously, the shimmers are beautiful. This shade here called LOL I'm Crying. So pretty. And I was actually really impressed with this kind of like matte whitish blue shade here. It's a very pale baby blue, but it looks bright white matte. Matte whites are really hard to formulate. This one is very good. So I definitely think this is my favorite thing from the collaboration. And then the Lit palette, which I was a little bit less excited about just because it does look kind of exactly like the Colourpop Yes Please palette. So I think it's a smaller version of the Yes Please, and I just decluttered Yes Please. But the yellow in here is actually pretty good. So I really, really hated the yellow in the Yes Please palette, but getting this one was kind of like, oh, you know, I'm gonna declutter that one and just keep this one because it's a better updated version. So if you really liked the color story of the Yes Please palette, but you were disappointed by the quality, I think you'd really like the lip palette.
Oh, fire emoji, wet emoji, gonna get all the eggplant emoji.
I also tried out the two Super Shock cheek blushes. Ooh, She's Blushing is a beautiful, like, bright red shade. And then Stop It is this kind of orangey reddish shade. I'm wearing it on my cheeks today. It's a very unique color. I think this is a very special shade that I haven't seen ever on the market. And Colourpop always does a really nice job with the Super Shock cheek formulas. These do tend to dry out after a couple months, so I'm not sure these are going to be the most long lasting, but the colors are beautiful. And I love that he went for a more vibrant blush. I personally love a more vibrant blush. I just go with a bit of a lighter touch because I do have fair skin, but the fact that these are very vibrant, bright shades means that they will probably show up on pretty much every skin tone. So I really enjoyed these ones, and I think these are also an awesome product from the line. The glitters in the line were involved with a lot of drama, so I'm not going to talk about the drama behind these, but I will talk about the product itself. I didn't really like them that much, honestly. Honestly, I felt like they were a bit like slippy. I couldn't feel comfortable like putting clothes on top of this on my body and then like not having glitter rain down onto my clothes. I thought these would be a really fun thing for like New Year's Eve, just to like put on your body for a party, or if you wanted to put it on your face with caution. It is really pretty though, and it's a lot more affordable than some other brands. He also came out with some lip colors. I love the lippy sticks from Colourpop a lot, or not lippy sticks, lippy pencils from Colourpop a lot. And I was really happy to see that he did ultra satin lips instead of ultra matte. One of the shades, Wig, is like one of my new favorite red shades. It's a beautiful like deepened cranberry red. Gorgeous for the holidays. And then the lip liners as well. Really, really nice. Obviously, very consistent with Colourpop's normal formula, so I was really happy with these ones. I did not love the nude just because it was a little bit streaky in my opinion, but the darker shades I thought were really beautiful. The other concealer I tried out this month besides the Huda Beauty one was from Jouer. This is the Essential High Coverage Liquid Concealer, and I've heard so much talk about this one, so I was really excited about it. I think Nikki Tutorials and Kathleen Lights have been raving about this. It says it's creaseless, soft matte, and has hyaluronic acid. And I am in the shade Lace, so I was really, really excited about this one. And I like it. It's just, I don't know. I was really expecting a lot just because they were hyping it up so much, and I like it. It's not bad. I think it's a really beautiful full coverage concealer. It is a little bit thick for me, and I don't think it's as easy to blend out as some other ones. So Too Faced is my personal favorite, and it was kind of like Shape Tape for me. I'll be a little bit less heavy looking, so when I did get it to blend out, it looked beautiful on the under eyes, but still, it wasn't as easy to diffuse as the other ones I like. And it is full coverage. It does last really well through the day, so I think it's a really, really good concealer. I just prefer other ones better, and I was thinking this was going to be like my new holy grail, the way people were talking about it. So of the two concealers I tried out this month, I do think the Huda one is better. I was thinking this was going to be like the best concealer I've ever tried out, and it wasn't. It was good, but it wasn't wow.
Wow.
Ever since the Victoria's Secret fashion show aired, I've just been making an effort to try out more from Charlotte Tilbury, so over the holidays I bought 2 things from them. I love visiting the Charlotte Tilbury counter in Nordstrom. I think it's just a beautiful experience to see all the products laid out and just test things, and these were the 2 things I was most excited about. So first, I picked up the Hollywood Flawless Filter because I've heard so many amazing things about this. It's not a foundation. It does look like one, but it's not a foundation. It's basically like a luminizing tinted primer, I guess. And this is like my new holy grail for no makeup days. It has this beautiful like doe-footed applicator. Obviously the packaging's to die for, but it is super, super light coverage. It's a very luminizing, glowy product. So I go in first with like a light layer of Tarte Silk Canvas or maybe Farsali Skin Tune, and I just kind of swipe this wherever I need a little bit of like glow, mostly concentrating on the high points. So on my cheekbones, I do a very heavy layer, whereas everywhere else I do a bit of a lighter layer. This just overall makes my skin look super, super healthy and gives me a slight tint to the skin. So it doesn't cover up a lot of stuff. I normally have to go in and spot conceal after, but it does just like bring this evenness to the skin tone, and it's just so pretty on the skin. So I'll try and insert a picture of me wearing it on my skin because I think the effect is beautiful, and when my skin's doing really well, I just love showcasing it. I don't want to cover it up with a lot of foundation if it's like really, really pretty. I'm proud of my skin when it looks nice. Okay. I also was really excited to try out the Film Star Bronze and Glow, and this I've seen a lot of people that I really love. I think Jamie Page and Samantha Robindahl possibly? I don't remember. But I've heard a lot of really great things about this one, and it's one of Charlotte Tilbury's best-selling products. This contour I wasn't sure I was going to love. I thought I was going to use it as a bronzer rather than a contour, but it is such a natural looking sculpt to the cheekbones. I'm wearing it today. It looks so natural, like a natural shadow on your face. Even though it's a bit more warm toned, it's just, I don't know, something about it. And this highlight's beautiful as well. It was actually a little bit more blinding than I was expecting it to be. I was thinking it was going to be super, super subtle, but this one has like a nice amount of glow to it. So it's not like Ofra crazy blinding, but it's also not like Essence Pure Nude highlighter. It's just very in the middle, and it doesn't emphasize texture at all. Really enjoyed this as well. I was super excited to get this as a Christmas gift, but this is from a new brand that just launched at Sephora. It's called Kaja, and this is the Mochi Glow highlighters. This is a gift from a family member who knows that I love makeup, and then mochi is a huge tradition in our family. Just last weekend, actually, I'm filming this on Sunday the 6th, I think. And just last weekend on Saturday, just before New Year's, I was in Hawaii to visit my family, my Japanese side. And whenever we're there, we get together. Usually it's like 3 to 4 generations of the women. And we spend 2-3 hours making a couple batches of mochi together. So we made, I think, like 500 or 600 pieces of mochi. And that's just a really special family tradition for me during the holidays. So one of my family members saw this and they were like, oh, it's mochi. Let's get it for Julia. This is the shade Toy Alien. And I was really excited about this one because it seemed like a very nice bouncy texture. This is a gorgeous subtle highlighter. Again, kind of like the Charlotte Tilbury one. I felt like it wasn't super subtle to a point where it's like you can't even see it on the skin, but it's just this very soft, natural glow. So this I felt like really replicated the look that my natural skin has after like lightly sweaty, but it looks really natural and very glowy and healthy on the skin, I guess. And the fact that it's a very subtle glow also, it just doesn't emphasize texture like the Fenty one. There's no glitter in here. It's a really nice soft highlighter, and I think it's $19 or $18, so pretty affordable for Sephora. And it just made me really happy. Mochi is obviously very special to me as a family tradition, but the fact that a family member like saw this, they were like, oh, Julie loves makeup, let me get that for her as an omiyage, was really special. So this was a very pleasant surprise and just something I wasn't expecting to try out or love as much as I did, but I really like it a lot. Finally, I'm going to finish off this video with the palette that I used for today's eye look. It's a rainbow eye look, and I've just been going so hard on my James Charles palette lately that I've not really been trying any other colorful palettes, but I found another beautiful rainbow palette that I think is just one of the best things I've tried this year. And the year just started. This is the Moira Sweet Paradise palette, and I really like Moira Cosmetics. I've tried out quite a few of their products, and I think last month I reviewed like a pink toned palette from them. The formula really impressed me with their eyeshadows, but I didn't really think anything of it. And then I got this palette. First of all, the freaking color scheme. So beautiful. Obviously, I'm a sucker for rainbow palettes, but this is just on another level. I don't know, something about these shades, especially the mattes. There's a navy blue shade in here. It's called Cool Waves. It's my favorite. Also, the yellow Promised Sun. I really wish I'd gotten this palette in time to do my yellow eyeshadows video, but this is one of my new favorite yellows as well. This is just overall a really, really good palette. There are 4 colorful highlighters down here as well, but I'm seriously so impressed with this one. I think it's one of my new favorite, like, eyeshadow palettes in my collection, and I really was not expecting to like this one as much as I did, but it's really good. I think this is a really good dupe for the James Charles palette. You can create a lot of the same looks with this palette that I did with the other one. Alright guys, so that concludes the new makeup releases, favorites, and fails episode for December. Coming a little bit late, I know, I'm sorry, but I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Please let me know what was your favorite thing that you tried out in December or just lately. What have you been loving? I'd love to know and get some of your recommendations for what I should try out. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed down below to join the 10,000 and growing family of subscribers here. And make sure you're also following me on Instagram to see makeup looks like this crazy ass bright one that I just posted and post almost every single day. I'm trying. And if you made it to the very end of this video, I love you. Thank you guys so much for watching this channel. Bye.
I can see the Statue of Liberty from here.